All right, lads, full house tonight. We've got Scoop, as always. We have Jack and we have Anthony. The two boys here are in our head-to-head final, playing for some big cash. There's $1,500 up top, and I thought we'd get them both on. We'll see if we can get any information out of them as to what trades they might be making or any looping strategy or anything like that. But just to chat to the boys about how their run's been, especially since sort of the origin period. They both had a cracking run and maybe get a little bit of an insight into how that's happened as well. So congrats to you boys for being in the final, and introduce yourself, boys, and maybe how long you've been playing fantasy.
Oh,
Yeah,
cheers for us. You go, Anthony.
no, go for it, mate. Go for it.
Oh, cheers for having us. I think I've been doing fantasy last 3 or 4 years, and I probably did it back in around like 2010 or 11, back when Cam Smith was still top dog and um Corey Parker and such, and then I just took a big break, but getting back into it and I love it.
Love that. And you, Anthony?
Yeah, nice. Again, thanks for having us on. But pretty much the same. About 5 years back, haven't had much in the top 200, 100-ish. So great year this year as an anomaly. Hopefully not moving forward, but it's been a roller coaster this year.
Yeah, the boys have put in some serious work. Both of you, they're doing really, really well with Jack. They're sitting 130th,
Oh,
and then Anthony
was it
sitting
was it
at
great.
98th there as well. So been a really hectic season. And just to shout out Anthony, we mentioned him a couple of times on the channel, but looking back here at round 18, or is it 18 there? He was at 1,230. And every week since then has been a massive jump. Crazy little run, mate. What do you put it down to?
I think it was just a bit of making the right trades at the right time. I think I brought in Jacob Little that week, but I also had
Oh,
Damien Cook that week. So that was when I think Grant was on that 1 week injury and everyone was holding. And I'm like, nah, I'm double trading, getting a hooker and the backup because he wasn't doing well. I don't know if it was then or around that time. Oh, you got it up. Yeah, perfect.
17. Yeah.
Yeah. So just before that week. But it was that one. And then I think it was a mix of holding players and looping them that one extra week where everyone was selling. So like
Last.
I remember Plath went like back to back 30s, everyone sold, and then he hit like a 64 the week after. Kolomatangi, he hit like back to back 30s or 40s, then scored a 74 that week that everyone was questioning him.
Mm.
Fainu's done it twice this year. He went like
Yeah.
what 20, then 60, then 16, then 74.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was just holding some people that just became pods, I guess. Wasn't lucky with all the trades, as everyone brought in Hines, sold Hines, brought in Cleary, sold Cleary. I think everyone did that a few times this year. But the other ones kind of panned out well.
Yeah, even just looking up there, you had Twal in 14. So that was
Yeah.
that was tough as well. But Hughes at a good time. You've obviously picked well last week, Carrigan and Turbo at the right time. So it
Yeah.
is
yeah,
just
great
that
pickup there.
it's just that timing, isn't it? So and
And yeah,
you
it's picked up Starling in his first week, picked up like a few of the cheapies in their first weeks, which was good for money making and whatnot.
yeah, well, you were like leading up to the origin period, you were just inside the top 12,000 to then get to 98th now is a really good push, mate. So well done on that.
Thanks, mate.
All
Thank you.
right, we'll get to Jack now, a little bit on you, and then we've got a really good week from Scoop. I know he's itching to tell us about the week that was. So, Jackie boy, tell us about your last sort of couple of months there. It's been actually pretty steady going for you since the origin period.
Yeah, I think I went a bit earlier on some of the guns for the final run home, but probably overdid it a bit with the trades, and so I've just been sitting a little bit with the trades now. Yeah,
Yeah.
but there you go, round 23, and then when you announced that head-to-head competition, I thought, oh, let's see how far I can go into this. I'll make this my priority now rather than overall. I think I shot myself in the foot with too many trades, so I thought let's try and win this head-to-head.
Yeah, well, it's kind of doing all right on both fronts, 130th and then
Yeah,
in the final now too.
I I think yeah, like everyone, I've made some really good trades, and then I've made some shockers as well, and I've gone just silly mistakes, just going against rules that I've always had, and just players don't pick certain players because they're not fantasy scorers like Clint Gutherson, and then just gone ahead and bought him, and
Is
not
that
paid off.
is that the rules you're talking about? Those types of
Yeah,
players? Or?
just certain ones like yeah, stay away from Gutherson. I've never been a fan of Reece Walsh. he doesn't seem to produce in fantasy compared to his output on the field. And then yeah, the Eels hookers, I thought stay away from them all year, and then end up buying Lustig or hands. Like we might even have both at one stage, and it's stupid. Up right up the top there as well. I bought the Taylor May.
Yeah.
One of my rules is I don't like buying centers too early. I want to just keep the cheapies and worry about center almost last. And then I just watched that first game against the Storm where he was killing it, and I just got sucked into that. And he was brilliant, and then he just did nothing after that.
Yeah, that got me good because he was incredible in the World Club Challenge, and then first
Yeah.
game he was best player on the field, and I was like,
I don't even think he scored a try either, so it was just
yeah,
a wrecking ball.
yeah, the same deal. It shows that like I made those same mistakes with Gutho, with May, and we can still end up in a pretty good position. So, and I've gone through heaps of people that have done well in the past, and they're never perfect. There's still like 5, 6, 7 mistakes. It's just, do you feel like you guys did pretty well on looping and stuff like that as well? I know Anthony, you mentioned you did.
Yeah, looping is vital. I mean, even if you look at, I had Lockie Galvin since round one. I think Tigers had a buy in round one. So
Yep.
looping, like you're just almost guaranteed a better score or the better choice if you got it right the first time, kind of thing.
Yeah, 100%.
Yep,
Something I've learned over the
100%.
last year or two, especially. And you, Jack?
Yeah, 100%. I wasn't even too concerned with having 21. I just, 19, 20, I was happy with. But towards the back end, I really wish I had 20 playing and one looper. Because
Be
if
pretty
you
full by
as
the
soon as
end.
you start having a few that are used as loopers and then more injuries and then and such, then you start fielding 15 or 16.
It's interesting, hey, like through the buy period, you just want as many green dots as possible because you're gonna have guys on buy. And as soon as
Yeah.
it gets to about 20 round 21, you're wanting a looper each week, right? And I found that helped me for a few
Yep.
weeks there for sure.
Yeah.
And at the start
Just
of the
don't do
season,
what we did
definitely.
last week.
Yeah. And I think the start of the season, it's one of those things like Galvin, as you said, was perfect. And then, getting a guy, even if they are closer to a gun level, 600-700K, you get a buy out of them in sort of the first few rounds. You use them as a loop that week, but then they're done with that buy for maybe, 12 weeks and you get them all the way through to Origin or something like that. So there's definitely heaps of different strategies, which will be really fun.
Mm-hmm.
Good stuff. All righty. Mr. Scoopman, 1021. How good, mate? Smashed me this week. You're on the comeback train.
Yeah, it was good. I was absolutely cursing myself because I'd punished Fainu for being a naughty boy and put him down the bottom and forgotten about it. And then he scored 70. And I racked my brain and eventually figured out that if I reversed Murray, I could loop him into my middles by putting Plath in the halves. And somehow
Wow.
that accidentally worked out perfectly. So now I've got 2 left instead of 1 left and Murray to deal with. So I'm finally moving up the ranks a bit. Hopefully, I can crack top 5,000, maybe even close to top 4,000 if I can field 17 in both the next couple of weeks.
I think for sure, man. That's and they end up scoring basically the same, which is pretty crazy. How did Murray get 71 with a sim bin? And there's games where I own him and he gets 48 in 80 minutes and he looks like he's battling to get every point. I don't know how this works. But yeah, that was a
He's
good
probably
effort from
itching. He got few weeks banned, didn't he, after Origin?
yes, he did. He
Yeah,
was in there with Olaquatu, that other great trade in I
probably
had.
itching to play.
Yeah.
He doesn't like you, Jamie.
Apparently not. Apparently not. Although I'm glad I've haven't jumped back on because he's fallen off a cliff on all the Kavaches for sure. And Murray, I was laughing at that I actually can't pick him next year because he's got a bye. Like he'll be out in the first game. Where the last 2 years I've got him and it's been okay, but not super ideal. But Scoopy, you were a part of a lot of 70s this week, which was nice. Just the Kaipi's ball thing killed you. That was it, eh?
Yeah, it was really nice to have a couple of those. There were so many. It ended up being 5 pretty highly owned mids went 70 plus or so. Like we had Carrigan, AFB, Fainu Murray, and then Yo with the big one. Like it was just point central that week if you could manage to buy some of those guys. So now I've got couple of those guys there and Watson benched. So I'll have to see how the team lists pan out with the closer updates and see if I can get an update on how bad Kai Pearce-Paul's cut is. Because if he's next week, I do want him as a green dot. But if he's going to be missing, well, I'll trade him over somebody else to probably bring in like probably a little, and then with my last little bit of cash, AFB on his buy, I'll probably go to Yo in that last week. So that's my thoughts at the moment.
Oh,
It just has to see how it pans out. I'll probably loop as much as I can with all of the rest of my hookers like Starling and Hands and maybe even Watson. But yeah, we'll have to see how that pans out. I don't think I actually, because Plath's supposedly in doubt too or something, isn't he?
yeah, doubt calf, but we'll see how we go. He's
Yeah.
he's a battler. We'll be right.
Yeah.
I hope anyway. I hope, that's for sure. There you go. Well, Scoop, best buy of the week, or a top couple. Who would you be targeting? And do you have a captaincy choice?
A lot of people in the top 1,000 top teams have Yo by now, but if you don't have him, like with the Panthers fourth and have lost a couple, he's just the guy you want now, I'd say. Like if you haven't got him, find some way to get him if it's not going to blow up a green dot for a green dot, essentially.
Yeah, definitely. And captaincy then, if you don't have Yo, who would you go?
I see it's hard because I would put Carrigan second if Haas doesn't play, but I am put off just a little bit because I've been thrashing him. He's been doing a lot of work. Good stuff for him.
Sure.
Ponga with an easy matchup is also really, really nice. Yeah, I've got to figure out who I want now because I've got no Grant, no Hughes as well, and no Yo. I can't reach Yo directly from Kai Pearce-Paul or Starling, I think, because he went up a fair bit. So I'll have to do that next week from Fanua Blake, I'd say.
Definitely. Jack, do you still think Turbo is a good buy this week, even against the Dogs?
Yeah, he's against the Dogs. Where they're playing?
That's a good question.
Ambush.
Ambush.
A call.
I haven't looked at the stats on how players perform against the Dogs. I always know the Panthers and Storm, if you're playing up against them, fantasy output's never that great. But the Dogs have been brilliant on defense, and I don't know how Turbo goes then. But in saying that, I'm a Manly fan, and I don't know what's going on with Turbo and his form of late.
Incredible.
He just seems to he just wants to take ownership.
Yeah, he's been awesome. That's for
Yeah.
sure. And Anthony, what do you think of Crichton? Do you think it was just a one-hit wonder and they scored 70 points, or can he do it again?
We know him. We know once he hits his form, he's off and running. That the beginning of the year prior to Origin, he was what the best fantasy player at that time. I don't think there was an edge better than him at least. And if he gets back on this tear, then it's pretty scary. Last few weeks heading into the finals, Roosters have a point to prove. They're not settling. They're, I think, second, third, and fourth all on the same points. So I don't know. I don't even know if he'll get a rest.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. Like it's just a lot of 30s. He's epitomizing what last week was 70s and 30s at the moment. That's for sure. Adam Reynolds, guys, 612. If you don't have the cash, if you're moving like a Blore or you're moving Fainu or one of these type of guys, and you can get up to Reynolds, is he a good shout as a bit of a couple week play?
I don't mind it. I just do wonder if the Storm will really roll over them next week if they have their full strength squad. Like they've got a minor premiership guaranteed. They don't need to, but like it's a bit crazy to rest players 2 weeks in a row. They probably want some a lead in run to the finals.
Yeah, totally agree with that.
I just don't like his injury history.
Yeah,
He just seems like he's made of glass, and I think the last week where he absolutely killed it, he looked like he got an injury in that game. And I thought, oh, he's going off again. Here we go, but he pulled through. I wouldn't want to waste one of my last few trades on a player that could go down so easily.
yeah,
Rocks and diamonds.
He always looms as a really good buy, doesn't he? And then just gets injured. It's a tough one, that's for sure. Alrighty, let's see what else we got here. What do you think? I'm having a look at. I'm trying to trade out Blore. I think I want to hold Hughes personally. I'm looking at Luai. What are our thoughts on Luai with a couple of good runs?
Yeah, I like him. I had him as probably one of the 3 super coach buys to replace Nathan Cleary. And then he had his shocker last week, but the logic still is probably there. The Panthers want to really perform these last couple of weeks, even more so now. So if they can get their attack together a bit, because it looks a bit more disjointed than I thought it would without Cleary, because they did well without him during the middle of the year.
Yeah.
But yeah, if they can rediscover that, great. And he is a bit cheaper. So if for some reason you've got 2 trades left, maybe that means you can get a really, really big gun in that last week, like a Yo if you don't have him.
That's fair.
Average is 50 without Cleary, I think.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, it's a bit of a punt, but Blaw's averaging like, I don't know, 36 or something at the moment. So it's got to be better than that. That's for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
And guys, with 2 rounds to go, are we pushing to the side of a bit more risky in our plays? Like, are we going for a Ponga, or do we go for a Tarpane or a Burton or something like that? It's probably a little bit less risk on. What do you think, Jack?
Overall, I don't know. It depends on your goals. I mean, if you just want to crack it, top 500 or top 100 and you're fairly close, or I just play it safe and I would go like the Tapani option or, but if I don't know, some people like going with their gut and being a bit fiery and whatnot, why not go Ponga? He can pull out at 80 anytime he wants.
Yeah. It depends if you're in the final too, aren't you? If you're just going the 1 week played, if it's a
Yeah,
1 week play, do you go safe, or do you go for something
exactly.
like
So,
Ponga?
I mean, in a head-to-head, I'd just analyze your opponent's squad, see who your pods are, and then I'd look to make a trade, not, early in the week, but look to make that trade based on how your pods are going, whether you're up, whether you're down, and then, yeah, that's what I've been doing the last few weeks, just saying, oh, I've got Carrigan, they don't, they've got, Fiona or something like that, and therefore I probably don't need to make a trade because I'm up 40 points.
Yeah, especially when it comes to, you can just look at their team analyzer, just pop their team name in, and probably by this stage they might have 0 trades. So you're just playing exactly what's in front of you, minus the loops, obviously. So yeah, it's a good strategy, mate. Anthony, how are you playing this one from a strategy point? It's just optimizing as much as you can, looping as much as you can this week to try and beat Jack.
I mean, yeah, like you're in a head-to-head final, you want that, but first time ever in the top 100, you kind of want to finish the season strong as well. Coming up against a team like Jack's, I think I'm going to have to go all out though, just to try and
You
fight this
saving
week.
Hughes? Are you keeping Hughes?
Honestly, I'm on the boat. I've had him in and out of my team so many times, but I got Fanua Blake. So if I don't have Hughes this week, I don't have Fanua Blake next week. It kind of evens itself out the way I've looked at it.
Fair enough.
Unless I trade one this week, then one the next week. They're my last 2 trades, or do I use both now? So I'm playing with fire at the moment. We'll see how we go. See how
I'll
it ends
go
up.
for that top 100. Don't worry about the head-to-head. I'm just looking at your squad. So like, our pods are, you've got Hughes and Galvin. Oh, I have Galvin as well, but you have Hughes. So I don't know what you'll do with Galvin there. You got Turbo, Little, and then any of your emergencies. So Willison, Sharp, and Drinkwater. But every other player I have. So it's whether I match, do something to counter Turbo with like a Ponga, or do I sell Galvin and buy a Hines or something like that? I don't know. But it's basically 3 players that will determine how you loop.
It's crazy. It's crazy. It's like all the
That'll
teams sort of
determine,
shape up.
because you're not changing your mids, or unless you oh no, you're not selling for Noah Blake. So unless you're not selling any of those forwards, all those centers, all those wing fullbacks. So it really comes down to about 3 players.
That's it.
Yeah, that's right. It's do you go all out and get the 230k cheapie and then load up onto your mid range, or
also comes down to captain. I assume you're probably just going to go Yo. It'd be the safest move, but just tell me if you are, and I might have
what's
to
the
do
bluff?
something different.
Honestly, more than likely it might be Yo, mate. I was just talking to Jamie and a few of my mates. Even if Yo drops 60 minutes and gets rested, you'll be happy with a 60, right? He's pretty much point per minute. So
Yeah.
It'd be stupid not to. And it's funny, you go for Manly, I'll go for the Dogs. They're versing each other this week, and we're versing each other this week.
Oh, how good.
Put out
no doubt Turbo will score so many points. We'll end up losing. Yeah, and then Carraz will score lots on Manly and everything. Just
Go
won't work
Carraz.
out.
I think
Good
it's pretty
stuff.
cool that we've got the head-to-head final here where you both actually have trades. So it's not a fait accompli. You actually can have a bit of strategy, which is really cool.
Mm.
And
Yeah, that's good.
that's what we've
But
wanted for sure.
I personally I don't know. I might have
Yeah.
to gamble on the captain just to
If
pull this win off, I think.
Yeah. If you've not got any of those emergencies, how do you rate the danger of Scotty Drinkwater versus a depleted Melbourne?
Mm.
Yeah, oh God, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you didn't need that this week, that's for sure.
Yeah, I know. I
Frank
mean,
Bellamy
if
rigging
Melbourne,
head-to-head
I
finals.
would have loved for you to play Drinkwater had Melbourne had all their stars. I would have imagined a 30 or a 35 were there, but
You just don't know.
now it's looking good. Now it's looking like a 50 or 60 plus.
Did you say you have Campbell, Jack? Or
Yeah, I do.
yeah, okay, because he seems like a wild card, and there's a couple in there, but yeah, the
Yeah,
question
well, I
is,
mean,
do you trade those big dogs or not that are on the bye, the Galvins, the Hughes, just to try and win this week, or yeah, does it hurt you a bit next week? But is this
I,
week more important?
I'm gonna win. I'm gonna try and win this one. I don't think it will happen, but I have Cleary still, so
Yep,
I'll sell Cleary for sure. So that just means I can get whoever.
yep.
Galvin will be my looper.
There you go.
Let's
Well,
do
I'm
it,
keen.
mate. Best of luck,
I
mate.
don't
Best of
even
luck.
think I can loop. I don't know if I can even field 18. I think it's probably 17.
Yeah, okay. So doing
Oh,
a
you're
little
trying
bit
to
of
throw
luck.
yeah.
Bloody team Habs. He's peaked at the right time, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Hey,
It's
mate,
so
since round
such a good
18.
squad.
That's right. Yeah, it just been building. Did you guys have any head-to-head matchups that were within like sort of 10 or 15?
I didn't think I had
I
one
don't
in
know.
10 or 15 in the last one. I have to bring up that
I think
that table that you got.
I think Jack was close last one, wasn't he? 9,
Uh,
26 last week.
there might have been a week prior as well, or 2 weeks prior. There was a very close one.
Yeah, okay. Jack in there,
860,
19.
yeah, 880, 980, sorry, and 960.
Oh, there's a few close ones there. Just the grinding out those wins.
I know,
Oh,
and they just
20,
week
20,
one.
I
40,
almost feel like I don't deserve to be here. So
yeah,
Week
20,
one was the
40,
toughest.
Oh,
40,
week one, 20
20. Look at
points.
that.
there was a lot
You,
of
you
big scores
just,
that
that's
week
the
too.
strategy. It comes down to it, the last minute decisions to see whether it gets over the top.
Yeah,
And Team Habs, he's just going. That was probably your closest one 2 weeks ago. He beat the legend Bevan last week. Fair play. 50 that week. What did you get? 1121 the week before.
oh, gee. Yeah,
Crazy.
that was a big
That
week
was
for
good, mate.
everyone, wasn't it?
Yes,
Yeah.
he's been
4
dominating the
tons,
Habs.
4 tons, not tons, thousands in the last 5 weeks.
Yeah.
That'll do it. Bit better than
I'm
my
peaking the same
860
times
last
as the
week.
Bulldogs, mate.
Up the dogs.
Up the
Oh, this is a
doggies.
sad day. Sad day. I would have lost to you, I think, anyway, Habs. Oh, no, it would have
Nah,
been
don't worry,
Jack.
mate.
Sorry, Jack, if I made it through. 986. Yeah, that's
Oh
all right.
yeah, I was counting. I was even looking at that into the future and thinking, oh, if Jamie gets through, when does I know you've got 2 Cowboys,
Yeah,
and I was yeah, and I don't think it worked out if we would have met anyway, but I was hoping,
I think it did.
yeah,
Yeah, that would have been that week.
like
Then,
Drinkwater and I
oh
don't know
no,
if
the
he
week
had
just
Copper.
went. Yeah,
Yeah,
that'd have been this week.
What'd you score? Would you have beat him?
I don't think so. I've been going back, so been going backwards. Unfortunately, since he had that 230, you went the other way. I've gone back, but that is all right. So yeah, it's been plenty of fun, guys. What's been the best thing about the private group so far this year since you've joined? Go, Jack.
Oh, it's I just say the vibe. It's a very good community. Uh, we're all just passionate about it. We're a bunch of addicts, really. But
For sure.
everyone's just good spirited. Um, very positive. It's nice to be around. I tried the Discord a few years ago, and it's toxic. Um,
Mayhem.
yeah. So that's what I love
Thoughts?
about it. There's a lot of supporters here. The opposite of tall poppy syndrome.
Yeah, cool.
Mate,
Thanks, mate.
this private group is the place to be. I love the game day chats. The every time someone gets injured, sometimes someone scores. It's always peaking, mate. It's good. It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't
Makes
even have to
watching the
watch the
game more
game
interesting.
for sure. Cheers, legend. And obviously, if you win the prizes, right, that'll be helpful too. But good stuff, legends. Thanks so much for jumping on. I know we've got a
Thank
lower
you.
amount of viewers, but the diehards are still here, which is great. So they'll get to meet you guys. And thanks again, Scoop, for jumping on. And we'll leave everyone there for our evenings.
Good luck,
Cheers,
legends.
House.
Thank you.
Thanks. Best of luck, Jack.
Yeah, you too, mate.